Hello and welcome to round 4 of the RaceDepartment Touring Car Championship, and today we're at Oschersleben in Germany, and having been at Monza and Magny-Cours and also Brands Hatch so far this season, the championship standings are currently a little bit interesting, a little bit up in the air. We've seen quite a few different race winners so far this season, and it'd be interesting to see if that's carried over today, so we'll just bring those up now. And as you can see, Javanainen is currently in the lead of the championship, and he leads Jack Keithley by a mere 7 points, with Henrik Horvath on 252 points, just 4 points back of Jack Keithley in third position in the championship, with Loeffler just 4 points behind him, and Yegor Yermakovich is in fifth position, just 3 points behind Loeffler. So there's only 14 points covering the top 5 in the championship, so it's really close at present. Helder Felipe is in 6th position, just 2 points back of him, and Emil Sallberg as well, just 2 points back. So it's really tight in the top 10, and it really is anyone's game. We're currently in qualifying at Oschersleben, just 10 minutes remaining of the qualifying session. As we head out to track, at the moment it's Yegor Yermakovich currently setting the pace. He is on provisional pole. He's in the pit lane there, but you can see him in P1, so he's doing an excellent job here at Oschersleben, and he'll be looking to improve on 5th place in the championship. The distinctive orange and black livery. Behind him, Jack Keithley, still out on track, still trying to improve, and you can see he is slowly improving, but not enough to challenge Yermakovich at present. In third position we have Henrik Horvath, who's currently in the garage, and Javanainen in 4th position. So these 4 in the championship hunt, and also in the hunt for pole position here today, out on track. A reminder that it's 2 14-lap races with just one qualifying session for the first race. The second race is decided by finishing position with the top 8 reversed. So it should be interesting. Both races, no formation lap, standing start for both races. Here's Javanainen on a hot lap. Let's see what he can do, whether he can improve and get further up towards the front. Currently sitting in P4 as he heads towards Sector 2, and we'll be able to see the split as he crosses that line. Heading through the fast chicane, Andreas Loeffler currently in P5. Nate Levinsky is currently in 6th position, with Tobias Olsen behind him in 7th. Hugo Gonçalves is in P8, with Emil Sallberg in 9th, and Linus Pettersson rounding out the top 10. Behind them there's Robert Wiesenmuller, who's in P11, Jimmy Hughes in P12, who has been more competitive than he perhaps has been this season. Last season finished in P2 in the championship. Oh, and he bumps over the curbs and goes into the wall in qualifying, so he'll have to quit back to the garage, as he has done, and start another lap time. James Johnson, Jack Keithley's teammate, is down in P13, so he has a lot of work to do. You can see a new livery for this round. In P14 you've got Richard Trange, Javanainen's teammate. In 15th you've got Vinicius Ferreira. We've seen him in the ATCC just a couple of nights ago, so he's transferring that over to the RDTCC. Igor Sverdetsky, or Sverdetsky, it's very difficult to say his name, lots of Z's going on there. He's in P16. Aristide Romanov in 17th, the Romanian, with Jonas Lex in 18th. Zabrozets in 19th, we saw him pulling a couple of results last time I was commentating at Magny-Cours. Gabriel Savu in 20th position, with Vucevic in 21st. Burma in 22nd, Yari Vinnari in 23rd, and that's the field for today. Jack Keithley has taken pole position provisionally from Yermakovich. There's only a few minutes left in the session, so Jack Keithley did set a quicker time and has pipped Yermakovich to pole position. They'll both be on the front row for the first race. Yermakovich is just starting another lap now. Let's follow him on board as he heads towards turn 1 at Oschersleben, turns it in, uses all of the curb and some more through the second part. Doesn't want to let the car run out too early, only releases it as he gets to the exit of the corner. Absolutely spot on from Yermakovich there. We head towards the tight left-hander after the short shoot He takes a lot of curb again, gets the car nice and early, bit of a twitch of oversteer, bit more, he's gathered it up, he uses all of the curb on the exit, but here we go, coming into the left-hander, once again turns in nice and early, uses all of the curb, a quick double left-hander, then we come towards a sort of tight right-hander here, and he's going to use all of the curb on the inside once again, get a good exit through the outside onto the curb, and now this is my favourite section at Oschersleben. A very quick chicane leads into this tight right-hander, and then you get a good power down onto the straight, and it's a good overtaking opportunity. This is one of two or three perhaps on the track. Into the right-hander now we go. Quite a quick corner. You've got to use all of the curb, but don't take too much. There is an anti-cut there, and you don't want to be on them. Uses all of the curb on the outside as well. Into the right-hander now. Once again, as much curb as you can, and into the final corner we go. Just about misses the pit lane entrance through the right-hander. Uses all of the curb on the exit, and that is a lap of Oschersleben. Let's see if it's good enough for pole position for Yermakovich. He crosses the line now. In fact, here's the line now, and he doesn't improve. So Yermakovich stays in second position. I was unsure exactly where the timing line was there. It's further down than I remembered. You have a 9 and sideways, just about cover it up, but he's on an out lap. He can't afford to do that. Loeffler leaves the pits. He's leaving this quite late, just about get enough time for a lap. Nowinski the same. You can see just a gaggle of BMW cars taking the first to sixth positions. Gonçalves the first of the front wheel drive cars in the Chevrolet Cruze. He's sitting in the garage. He's probably happy with 7th position, or perhaps thinks there's not quite enough time to do another run. Here is Tobias Olsen. He's all up now. Let's drop on board with him as he comes through the curbs and head out towards the back straight. And once again using all of the curb on the exit, heading down towards the tight right-hander. It's a lot of curb you can use here, but you don't want to use too much. Through the left-hander as well. Perfect from Olsen, absolutely spot on. Uses all of the curb on the exit as well. Coming towards the end of the lap now, and there are yellow flags out, it looked like to me there. Comes through the final corner now, uses a tiny bit of pit lane to get a good entry into the final corner. Just on the white line on the exit, keeps to the middle of the track. Should have been on the left hand side of the track really, Olsen, for a better run to the start finish line, and he crosses the line, does not improve. He's currently in 9th position, he's going to stay there. So let's see what Pettersson can do. He's also on a lap in the Chevrolet Cruze, and he bounces through the curve very wide indeed, gets a slide, just about held onto it and actually turned him into the corner nicely. So Pettersson pushing the limit of his Cruze as we head towards the right-hander and then the left. Lots of curb from Pettersson, absolutely spot on. Comes through the right-hander onto the back straight, uses curb on the exit as well, zooms past our camera, and you can see he's doing quite a good job here in the Cruze. Let's see whether he can gather it up for the final part of the lap. It's looking quite good. Through the curbs he goes. Once again, pretty good actually, you'd have to say. Coming through the right-hander now, using all of the curb. What about through the final corner? Uses a bit of pit lane. I think he's possibly backed off a little bit, getting a good run onto the pit straight. He probably thinks he perhaps hadn't quite got the lap together. See whether he's going to improve on P9. No, he doesn't. He had backed off. That was quite a slow lap time in the end. So Jimmy Hughes has popped up into 7th position. Maitland in 6th as well. In 5th position as he comes through the curves is Loeffler. He's lost the back end. He's going to be in the wall. Oh, he just pressed escape in time. So we'll follow someone else. Javanainen through the curbs. Doesn't do the same thing as Loeffler. So Javanainen on course to do a quick lap time. Let's see if he can improve on his current 4th position. He's coming up towards sector 2 now. Let's see what the split is. He is only a 10th off, so Javanainen could get in amongst the front runners here as he comes towards the final section of the track. Through the right-handed he goes, through past the pit lane, into the final corner, gets it gathered up, nice and good on the exit, and he gets a good run down, keeps to the left-hand side of the track for the shortest route, crosses the line, now 3rd for Javanainen, so he does improve. That knocks Horvath down to 4th. What can Horvath do? He is on a lap as well. Let's see what Horvath can do. It looks like, did that say he was up? You have to remember I'm watching a very less detailed image than you will be. Horvat looked to me like he was up. So he's obviously on a very quick lap time indeed in that BMW. I think he's got Jack Keithley behind him, or James Johnson. It's difficult to tell those two apart since they are in fact teammates. Let's have a quick look. No, it looks like it's James Johnson, because that is Jack Keithley. He's also on a lap. Yermakovich is on a lap. He's fairly safe in second position, so it's just Horvat. And we're going to watch him come through Sector 2 now. Let's see what he can do. He crosses it now, down by half a second, so either he was down originally or he's lost a bit more time. He is looking to get third position from Javanainen. That's where he was just now. Coming through the final corner now. Gets it turned in nice and early, and uses a bit of curb on the exit as well. What can Horvat do? This is the dying moment of the session, and he's going to cross the line now, and he doesn't improve, stays in fourth position. Loeffler is in fifth place. He's started another lap, but he's quite early on in his lap. Jimmy Hughes is in seventh. Gonsalves still in the pit lane. He must be happy with what he's done. Ferreira crosses the line, stays in 10th, so further towards the front of the field. Yermakovich is on a lap. Let's see what Yermakovich can do. He's coming towards the start-finish line now, and he's going to cross the start-finish line now. Has he improved? No, 2/10 off, stays in second. So Yermakovich in second position. Jack Keithley just started a new lap. He's currently provisional pole. Javanainen's going to start a lap now. He's got Wiesenmuller right behind him. See what Horvat can do. He's in the pit lane. Loeffler, what can he do? He's in fifth place, so coming towards Sector 2 now. He's just a couple of tenths off. Can he improve? Can he improve? He looks pretty strong. Oh, he's run wide! Run wide and gets a tank slapper, so that's lap abandoned for Loeffler, I would say. He's and he's scrappy as he comes through penultimate corner as well. This is his one chance to improve, remember, and he's coming through down past the pit lane, down the pit straight, uses the shortest line possible. You can see the time ticking away. Stays in fifth, doesn't improve. Lorenzi, now he's had a very quick first sector time look there, so Lorenzi perhaps might be able to get further up than what he is now. He's in P6 at the moment, just a few tenths off. As he comes through the right-hander, there's literally a matter of seconds left in this session, so this will be the last chance for Lorenzi. Bounces through the curves, and let's just check, see if anyone else is on a hot lap. Javanainen's coming up towards the Sector 2 split now. He's just a couple of tenths down, so can Javanainen do anything? He is on a hot lap, and and he's lost the back end, he's into the barrier! Huge contact for Javanainen, and that's his chance of qualifying well over Yermakovich in the pit lane as well. Looks like Jack Keithley's going to take this one. Lorenzi is the only person on a lap who's able to improve. He runs wide, uses the pit lane, probably got away with that one actually, probably didn't lose too much time bouncing over the grass there. He's pushing so hard, he knows he's got nothing to lose. He's going to cross the line in just a matter of seconds. And as he does so, does he improve? Stays in sixth for mate Lorenzi. So, at the end of the session, I don't think there's anyone else who's going to be able to set a lap time here. Gonsalves in the pit lane. Ferreira's in the pit lane, Olsen in the pit lane, Wiesenmuller, everyone's in the pit lane. Johnson still out on track, he's in P15. I don't think he's going to challenge the leaders from there. No, and that is session ended. So, to check the timing, so we had Jack Keithley on pole, followed by Yermakovich, Javanainen in third, Henrik Horvat in fourth position with Andreas Loeffler in fifth, mate Lorenzi in sixth, seventh position we had Jimmy Hughes with Hugo Gonsalves. He stayed in the pit lane for a long time in eighth. You can see the top six are BMWs, and then you got three Chevrolets. Linus Pettersson in ninth position, the third of them. Then you got two Hondas of Ferreira and Olsen with Wiesenmuller behind them in the Seat. Emil Sallberg was in 13th position with Richard Trange in 14th. James Johnson behind him in 15th position, another BMW in the field. The Honda of Romanov was in 16th. Svozetsky in 17th, Jonas Lex in 18th, Victor Zaprazets in 19th, Savu in 20th position. And you can see the rest of the field rounding out. That's Zaprazets, Boma and Vinnari. So, sorry, not Zaprazets. I can't quite read who's in 21st position, but I'm sure you can. But an excellent qualifying session for Jack Keithley. He takes pole position from Yermakovich. With Javanainen in third position and Horvath in fourth. So those four, you'd have to say, along with Loeffler and Narinci all in the BMWs, you'd have to say that looked like a good battle going to be lining up between those few. So we'll pay careful attention to them. Head back out on track. See if anyone actually is bothering to do any laps in the warm-up. Andreas Loeffler is out on track. So we'll have a quick look on board with him around the Oschersleben track. He's coming through the fast section of the track after Sector 2. This is now Sector 3. So he is coming towards the end of the lap. There are quite a few corner names on the Oschersleben track. I should probably go through a few of them. The final curve is called the Zeppelin curve. The first corner or first section is called Hotel. So Loeffler coming through that section now. The scene of many a drama over the years in touring car racing in real life. Loeffler going through the right-hander now. And it's very similar to the club corner at Silverstone in the way that it's sort of opening out right-hander. Loeffler has a slightly different line. He cuts back once again to get the better exit out of the corner. Interesting that some people are just using the outside of the corner, a bit like at Monza, the Parabolica turn. So Loeffler is going to tell us exactly what the race pace is going to be here. It must be on race setup now. That BMW looks very unstable indeed, and Loeffler coming through the right-hander now, using all of the curves through both section and then into the right-hander, and that section called McDonald's heads onto the back straight, and you head back towards the shell curve, which leads into Amann and Bauer. So here we go. So here's the shell curve and Amann now, with Bauer just in front of us, and then we've got Zeppelin rounding out the lap. And that is a lap of Oschersleben from Andreas Loeffler as he comes through the final corner. Nice to follow someone on board. And he crosses the line, and he's going to set a 1:31. So looking for times in the 31s, I should think. But that was a new fastest lap for Loeffler. Is there anyone else on track? Jonas Leck's on track. James Johnson as well. And Vučković. This is a sort of waiting game now whilst we're in warm-up. There's just 15 minutes of warm-up for guys to relax after the qualifying session, get used to their race setups once again. Be nice to follow Vučković for a bit. He is in the Seat Leon, and it's a fairly unusual car in the RDTCC. Once again, you can follow this with the Race Department spotter guide, and on there you can see it'll be ordered by championship points, which are in the grey box next to the car's name, and you can see Javanainen in the green and blue car. He is currently at the front of the field. Jack Keithley in second with Horvath in third in the championship. Loeffler in fourth position and Yermakovich in fifth. I'll just actually bring up the championship standings now. So as you can see, or hopefully you can see, I might try and zoom in here, hang on. Well, apparently I can't, so never mind. Javanainen is currently leading the championship with 269 points, as I was saying. Yeah, you've got quite a few drivers in with a shout still of the championship, pretty much all the way down to, you'd have to say, even Hugo Gonçalves in there with just 208 points. He's in with a shout as well. Jimmy Hughes is dropping a lot of points with 228, whereas some guys will not be dropping any. They've already used up their drop scores. Yermakovich is one. Helder Felipe as well is another. And let's have a quick look at the results from the last round at Brands Hatch. Oh, I would, but never mind. The link doesn't seem to be working, but never mind. Anyway, let's head back out onto the track and follow someone who hasn't quite got as much coverage as perhaps some of the leaders. So we're going to look at Richard Trange, who is currently doing his best to show us how to rallycross his way around Oschersleben. He heads through the final corner, Zeppelin Kurve, onto the pit straight and sets a lap time. He's looking for 31s to be competitive. He's going to cross the line and do a 32, so it puts him up to P9. But remember, this is only warm-up, so it's not the end of the world. Further back, Vinicius Ferreira in 10th position currently. He's chasing Robert Wiesenmuller on the track there. Let's go on board with Ferreira actually as he follows Wiesenmuller around. You can see the relative strengths and weaknesses of the Honda compared to the Seat Leon that Wiesenmuller's in. Wiesenmuller driving for RPM. Was very competitive in the Race Department Open Wheel Championship. That was using the game Stock Car game by Riser Studios. Today we're using Ferreira very sideways. Today we're using Simbin's new version of Race. You would have to say it's a version of Race. It's just an update, which is STCC 2, and the cars from that update. So we're very pleased to be using the Simbin games today. Once again, the championship is sponsored by R-Seat. And they are providing prizes for the guys who do successfully in the championship. So we thank them once again. Back out on track. And we're on board still with Linus Pettersson as he comes through the final two corners on the lap. Also looking at Zapzets, and Zapzets drifting through the penultimate corner and through Zeppelin now, gets the car in nice and tight, and doesn't quite use all of the track. You need to be using more of the track, Zapzets, there really. A little bit of curb and you get a better exit, and he does a 1 minute 33.7, so not particularly quick either. So you're saying that's Wiesenmuller. Let's have a look at Jari Vinnari. Jari, one of those guys that is always on Race Department. He's always doing work in the background. Perhaps not work that you always see, but he's always there doing highlight videos. My voice has only just recovered enough for me to be able to do commentary for tonight, and I will be doing highlight videos for the previous round of the Race Department Touring Car Championship. Vinnari has sent me the videos. Apologies to Jari. I promise you I am doing them over the next day or two. So expect to see those highlights out on Race Department shortly. But Vinnari doing his other job as a driver for Race Department. He's driving for Roaring Pipes Maniacs. He tends to be in the background for them, but he's still very committed and does his best. And with a distinctive number 71, you can always spot Jari Vinnari out on track. And he comes through the final corner. Actually running 777 this season for reasons unknown. I wonder if there is a specific reason behind that for Vinnari. I have to say he's normally number 71. My favourite number being Zaprozets, who's running 007, which I think is a bit brave. Romanov in the pits. Jack Keithley in first position, set the fastest lap times. Tobias Olsen set a good lap time. Yermakovich less so, so perhaps his qualifying pace not quite, or rather is a little bit stronger than his race pace. We'll have to see how that plays out. But the BMW driver currently in fifth. Sallberg's going backwards and reversing down the track. I wonder what happened there. A little bit difficult to find out on race. You don't get replays, so unfortunately I can't show you what happened to him. But he's in sixth place in the warm-up session. Horvat coming out of the pit lane now, and he's set a time good enough for seventh. James Johnson currently in eighth position. Hugo Gonçalves and Jack Keithley, it looks like they're showing a pit garage. Someone's popped up into the top 10. It's Jimmy Hughes, has gone into 8th position in that very Lotus-esque livery, you'd have to say. Not just the modern day Lotus, of course, the mid 70s, well, early 70s onwards, until about I think it was 1986, the final season of the of course the iconic John Player Special livery, and Jimmy Hughes has snapped that idea up and mimicked it, and he the sponsor of the side, I think that said Wiltshire College Motorsport, and if so, he's probably quite close to where I live. Yeah, Wiltshire College Motorsport, so he lives just down the road really from me, and will be probably quite close to the Castle Combe racetrack, which is in Wiltshire. And if any of you know that track from racing it online, it is one of the fastest in the UK. But I'll stop getting distracted by Jimmy Hughes' livery. Head back through the field. So Yermakovich in fifth, as I was saying. Javanainen and his teammate Richard Trange together on track. Trange in the Honda, Javanainen number 13. Unlucky for some, it's lucky for him. He's been doing particularly well this season. He's currently leading the way, so he will be looking to maintain his championship lead through this round. Let's just check how long there is left in the session. Just 1 minute 50 for the guys to prepare for race 1. There will be no warm-up lap, remember, so it's just you get to race 1 and you're straight back in. Head back out on track. Javanainen still in the hot seat. Just move my cursor out of the way, so he bounces through the curbs, and that is the McDonald's section, so he's coming out onto the back straight now. The Oschersleben track, 3.6 kilometres, 3.66 kilometres, or 2.3 miles, depending on whether you work in old or new English. The lap record is a 1 minute 18, set by an AutoGP car, the former World Cup of Nations or whatever it was called, A1GP, wasn't it? It was called Championship, and that's a good. Oh, and Javanainen sets a new fastest lap as we were watching him. That's handy. He sets a 31, so it's a good 13 seconds faster than the cars are going today, the touring cars. Still, the touring cars are relatively quick, actually, you'd have to say, compared to the former A1GP machines. That's they're full-on single-seaters compared to the touring cars here. So Javanainen looking quick today. Who else we've got? We've got Yermakovich to follow him through the final part. Oh no, he quits back to the garage, so let's find someone else to look at. This is Henrik Horvat. He's just finished his lap as well. I don't think anyone's going to be left on track, are they? I think everyone's gone back to the pit lane in preparation for the race start. It's unusual to have no one on the track at all, but there is nobody on the track at all, so... And we'll gear up for the race start. Just 2 minutes for the guys to get out onto the grid, and they'll all be looking to do so as soon as possible. Get the cars on the grid, get the engines nice and warm, and get prepared for the race start. and everyone will have got used to their car setups now, their race setups that they'll be using through race 1 and race 2. Remember, that's it now for qualifying, and Jack Keithley on the front row, so he'll be looking to hold off Yermakovich, who has already joined the grid. And Yermakovich, you can see the lone car currently on the grid. Javanainen yet to join the grid, Horvat's the same, so we'll just look on board with Yermakovich. Looking back, you can see people steadily joining the field, and we'll wait to see if we can get one or two more onto the grid. I'm surprised they're not on the grid just yet. We'll stay with Yermakovich. Not long now till the start of the race. We're waiting for the lights to go out. You'll be able to hear the revs rising in just a second. We're waiting for the lights to go out and the guys to get away. Here we go. And away they go, and Yermakovich has made a good start, but Keithley takes the lead as they head towards turn 1. Javanainen looking up the inside, but Yermakovich holds on to second, but here comes Javanainen up the inside, contact between the two. Javanainen has to go onto the grass almost to avoid, and there's Horvat, and Horvat's got to run on Javanainen in the background. And here comes Javanainen, he defends. It's Löffler behind Horvat. Let's go on board with Andreas Löffler. He is in 5th position and currently looking right at the back of Horvat. Horvat's going to have a go at Javanainen as they head into the left-hander. And they going through this left-hander, very quick speeds actually, so it's a single file. Löffler will be looking to get a good exit through here, gives the back of Horvat just a little bit of a nudge, but up front it is still Yermakovich chasing down Jack Keithley, and Keithley currently has the lead at the moment sewn up. Let's see whether he can stay in the lead for the remainder of the race. Javanainen still in P3, and behind him you've got Löffler and Horvat having a battle. Horvat currently still in 4th position. And Javanainen still behind Yermakovich, and it's going to be close between the two. Here comes Javanainen up the inside, he takes the position away, he's gone too wide, gone too deep, and here comes Yermakovich back around the outside, and there's contact between the two. Yermakovich is trying to make this one work around the outside, and he has done so, so Yermakovich back into 2nd place, but you'd have to say, out of the two, it looks like Javanainen's the quicker, and Horvat behind in 4th position, with Andreas Löffler in 5th, and Löffler doing an excellent job at the moment to hold off Maitland-Rinci, who is in 6th, but the top 6 BMWs, and then you've got Jimmy Hughes, who's made a good start to get up into 7th position. He's ahead of Gonçalves. Vinicius Ferreira in 9th position with Visa Muller and Olsen in behind. Richard Trange is in 12th position. Behind them you've got Sarver, you've got Romanov, you've got Sallberg, and then there's a big gap to Jonas Lex actually. And Richard Trange. Oh, Romanov's off! Romanov's off! Let's see what happened to him. Let's see if we can catch up with him. It's looks like he's there. He is rejoining now. It wouldn't skip to him on my cameras. Romanov looked like he got taken out. It looked like there was a bit of lag actually there with Richard Trange. So I wonder if that was in any way involved. But that is at the back of the field. Let's head further forwards. Here's a battle between Ferreira and Visa Muller. Visa Muller having a go at Ferreira, and Ferreira is looking at the back of Hugo Gonçalves. And now we are on board with Ferreira. Let's look back from Visa Muller's car towards Ferreira, and Pereira's gone defensive into turn 1. Wiesenmüller won't be able to sneak through here. Not a hope in hell. It's too tight. And he'll have to take a nice steady line through the right-hander. Just about get through there without being clipped by Olsen. And he'll have to have a line up. Once again, Horvath still in 4th. He's still holding off. And in fact, Yermakovich is closed right up to the back of Jack Keithley. And this will be for the lead as they head through the left-hander now. Double left-hander, this is called... I believe it's called something like the triangle or something, as they head towards the right-hander, and there'll be a short shoot towards another right-hander, which will have the very fast chicane. This is McDonald's just before the long back straight, which heads down, and it's actually sort of quite a quick corner following this straight. So it's not really an overtaking opportunity unless you're really close and you can get alongside. See, it's quite a fast right-hander there. So Yermakovich will have to be a little bit closer than that to have a go at Jack Keithley. But you'd have to say Yermakovich flying in the early stages. I thought it was all going to be about Javanainen, but Yermakovich, once he's ensured he's in second position, he's gapped Javanainen, and you can see the gap now. Javanainen a good 10 car lengths behind now, and he has a lot of work to do actually to catch up to the back of Yermakovich. Look how close he is. Look at this. Loeffler having a go at Henrik Horvath into turn 1. Had a little bit of a look, didn't really get anywhere near making a move. You'd have to say it was purely just to try and scare Horvath off the road there, and it does occasionally work. Not in this instance. So Mate Levinci in behind them as well. He's sniffing about. Jimmy Hughes in 7th position, still holding off Gonçalves, and Ferreira still holding off Wiesenmüller. So not many moves going on in the background. Richard Trander's got some a bit of connection issues, I would say. He looked like he was lagging a little bit through there. Tobias Olsen in behind, and he's doing a good job to fend off his teammate Emil Sallberg, who, if you remember correctly earlier in the season, was fighting for the championship. He's dropped back a little bit now, yeah, but he's still obviously got some pace. He's in 13th position at the moment. Salvo in 14th, Jonas Lex in 15th, Zaprozets, then Johnson, Boma, Svazetsky in 19th, Pedersen in 20th, Vinnari in 21st, Vučković in 22nd, and Romanov has retired from the race. And Keithley and Yermakovich are very close indeed, and Javanainen looking to get by the pair of them. He's slowly creeping up to the back of Yermakovich. You'd have to say it's going to be tight. And Javanainen, in fact, has set a very quick lap time indeed here to get right up to the back of them, because he's done a 32.2. This is going to be quicker, I would think. Just a 10th off. So he's setting consistent lap times. Behind him, you've got Henrik Horvath and Loeffler, and you'd have to say that Horvath has been gapped by Javanainen. So it's a battle for first, and then a battle for 4th. Horvath, Loeffler, Levinci and Hughes, and Gonçalves is coming towards the back of that pack as well. And he'll be looking to get in on the action. Oh, I always see that, and I always worry. It's a bit of lag, that's all it is. And Horvath's car just stationary just for a second as the car was resynced by the server. And server having a couple of issues today. I'm a bit unsure why, but hopefully they'll sort themselves out. They usually do. RD servers are usually pretty good. Horvath in 4th position, as I was saying. Further forwards, Javanainen still in 3rd, and he is closing, you'd have to say, just onto the back of Yermakovich. And Yermakovich is behind Jack Keithley by only a few car lengths now, and Keithley's car looks very unstable at the rear, and it looks like he'll have to calm down, or else he will wear out those rear tyres too early. And remember, it is a 14 lap race, and I've completely lost track of what lap we're on, so I'll have to be careful exactly when the race finishes. I'll have to be on the ball. I believe we're probably about halfway through now. So Yermakovich has been closed really quite quickly by Javanainen, and Javanainen obviously quicker on that lap. Horvath is still maintaining 4th position, so it's all about what can Javanainen do to Yermakovich. He is all over the back of him now, and looking to get the position from Yegor. And you can see Javanainen's closing up on the brakes, but Yermakovich accelerates away out of the corners. It's called the concertina effect. Yermakovich gets on the throttle just ever so slightly earlier than Javanainen can, because of course he's that little bit further down the road. But of course Javanainen will close up under braking because Yermakovich has already started braking whilst Javanainen is at full throttle. So that's why you can see the car closing in and then gap opening out once again. Javanainen, it's one of the worst things you can see as a driver actually, and Javanainen will be getting excited every time he gets close. He would have thought, I wish I'd made a move into that corner or whatever, but it opens up again on the exit of the corner. Horvat has actually gapped, and what's happened to Loeffler? Loeffler has dropped back a good few positions. He's back in 7th position now, so Jimmy Hughes moves up into 6th, and oh, look how hard Loeffler is pushing to try and make up for that. I wonder if Loeffler had a go at Horvat and was unable to make the move stick, and probably had a little bit of an issue as well. What it does do is it puts him right in the clutches of Hugo Gonçalves, and Gonçalves not exactly a slouch, and he does have behind him a fairly sensible gap as well, so he can afford to make a bit of a sort of risky dive, because there's no real consequence considering the gap behind him, so he will try and do that if he can. Oh, and Wiesemuller looking for a way by. Oh, he's hit the back of Ferreira. Wiesemuller's off. Ferreira's wide. Can he recover? No, he can't. He spins the car, and I'm afraid that was Wiesemuller going too hot. Got into the back of Ferreira, and you can see Wiesemuller recovering from the grass, sensibly letting Ferreira back through, but Ferreira could do nothing at all there, and Wiesemuller now finally able to rejoin. But Ferreira was definitely tagged by the back of Wiesemuller's car, and Wiesemuller now trying to make up for it very sideways indeed in the little Seat Leon. Wow, that was a big moment there for Ferreira. He gathered it up eventually, but he was sideways for a long time. There's a battle going on between the cruisers further back. But further forward, we've got James Johnson in 14th, with Jonas Lex in 13th, Savu, Sallberg, Olsen, Chunge, and then Gonçalves and Loeffler is still in 7th position, unable to make his way back through past Jimmy Hughes. I thought Loeffler was going to have lose the back end there, and he was very sideways indeed, using a lot of curve on the exit there. It's just a little bit naughty. It's 4 wheels over the white line, boys. You could be a little bit more careful than that, but no harm done. They both did it, so no one gained an advantage. Jimmy Hughes in 6th position, Lorenzi in 5th, excuse me, with Horvat still in 4th position. Javanainen is right up to the back of Yermakovich. Keithley's gone, so Jack Keithley has gapped this pair a little bit now, and you can see he's setting very quick sector times indeed. And he is doing an excellent job actually. Yermakovich in 2nd position at the moment, and staying there at the moment from Javanainen, but Javanainen looks extremely strong, and his pace has been getting better and better. He did have a go at Yermakovich in the early stages, then Yermakovich had a break, able to get up close to Keithley but unable to do anything about him. Here comes Javanainen. He's in a slipstream. Is he going to be close enough for the right-hander? I don't think he is. Let's see what he can do. Under braking he gets close, but not close enough, I don't think. And he stays in behind, and is very close indeed, isn't he? Looking very hard and trying very hard. And you can see as they come onto the pit straight now, he's right in behind Yermakovich, so he could have a go into turn 1 if he wants to. It's not really an overtaking spot. You have to be very close out of every single corner to be able to overtake here at Oschersleben. It is a very difficult track to overtake on. Yermakovich flies through turn 1, makes a small error. Javanainen's right up behind him now. Yermakovich just ran wide, just a car's width, and it was enough to get Javanainen right onto the back of him, but Yermakovich too smart to let him up the inside, and he retained 2nd position. So what can Yermakovich do? about the lead of Jack Keithley, and what can Javanainen do about Yermakovich? Horvat's in the world of his own in 4th. He's really gapped Levinci quite substantially, and Loeffler, since he got overtaken by Hughes, I wonder if he's playing the reverse grid game, because 7th and 8th position is the front row for race 2, and usually race 2 does provide quite a bit more frantic action as a result of the reverse grid. So we'll see what happens there. Trangen is still P9 going over the curbs. See 2 Hondas in a row, and then Sallberg's in a BMW in 11th position. He's right behind his teammate now. Let's see what this looks like on the back of Olsen. Olsen lets him through, eases off the gas, and lets his teammate Sallberg go through. That's fairly sensible if you know your teammate's quicker than you and he's in a championship hunt. You've got to play the team game, and it's something I'm banging into my teammates all the time. Just don't take each other out. Don't take each other out. Keep it on the island, and think about the championship more than your own race. And that's what happened there. So Yermakovich still holding off Javanainen for 2nd position. Jack Keithley still leads. So let's have a look at the retirements. Romanov's retired. Vukovic is lapping at the back of the field. Jari Vinnari in 21st. In 20th you've got Spadetsky, and you've got Pettersson here having a look at James Johnson. So James Johnson doesn't have the pace of his teammate today. He is there or thereabouts, but unable to do anything like the lap times that his teammate's doing up at the front of the field. So James Johnson in P18. You've then got Erling Bulmer in 17th position with Zach Bazets in 16th. Wiesenmuller, after we saw him and Ferreira coming together, Wiesenmuller is in 15th place. He's run very wide indeed, in fact so wide he's unable to make the corner. So he'll have to do something about keeping it on the road, because at the moment he is struggling. Ferreira, as I was saying, in 14th, Jonas Lex in 13th, Savo in 12th, Tobias Olsen in 11th, and Sallberg, now he's been released by his teammate, he's right up to the back of Richard Trange. So let's see what happens here. Trange at the moment in P9, and it's the top 8 are reversed for race 2, so they'll be looking to get close enough to get past into 8th position. I believe we're pretty close to the end of the race now, perhaps just a couple of laps away from the finish, and Jack Keithley is currently leading by a fairly substantial margin from Yegor Yermakovich, who has got Javanainen all over the back of him for company. And let's see what Javanainen can do. You can see how big the car of Yermakovich is in the camera, and that means he's very close indeed as they swing through the left-hander, the double left-hander. And Yermakovich ran, it was very tight indeed. Javanainen nearly ran wide, and it nearly caught me out, that corner of the triple. Very tight indeed, but Javanainen lost out a little bit to Yermakovich through there as he heads through the curves and onto the McDonald corner, and then onto the back straight. And he's not close enough, I don't think, to make a move into the right-hander. So Javanainen will be looking to perhaps make a move stick on the next lap if there is one. I'm afraid to say I have lost count of the laps. There is no lap counter, unfortunately, that we can use. I'd have to stop watching the action to find out, unfortunately for you guys. Jack Keithley is going to cross the line. He's led from the start in this race. Can't say from start to finish just yet because the race isn't over. Yermakovich in 2nd place. You can see the lap times have dropped off by nearly 2 seconds a lap, so it makes me wonder whether if a slightly longer race it might be worth having a pit stop, but unfortunately the race isn't slightly longer for these guys, so they are staying out for the duration. It's all about tyre preservation, and Javanainen has been caught rapidly by Henrik Horvat, and makes me think whether the Hungarian has got a lot better tyre wear than the Swede in front of him. And Henrik Horvat very close indeed as they head through the triple, so named because it's 3 identical left-handers, and into the right-hander. Javanainen sideways as he gathered it up. He's got very sideways indeed, just about held on, but I would say that Yermakovich and Javanainen's tyres are not in as not good condition as Horvat, and Javanainen was very sideways indeed through there, and he's going to struggle to hold on to this position for much longer, judging by the amount that Horvat has been able to close. And Horvat looks like a man on fire. Oh, look at Javanainen drifting through the left and the right, and he's bouncing over the curbs as well. He's desperate to hold on to this position. He's unable to. They're unable to. Oh, and Yermakovich is in first. What's happened to Keithley? Where's Keithley? Keithley's down to fourth. What's happened here? We didn't see this. We didn't catch it. But Keithley is down to fourth position. That means Yermakovich is now the race leader with Javanainen. So this is a battle for second position now. Javanainen's in. So what happened to Keithley? It looks like he must have run wide somewhere or got sideways. But he led from the start of this race, and just a couple of laps from the finish, and he's got sideways, perhaps run wide. There doesn't look to be any damage on his car, so I would say it's just purely a driver error. And Horvat's up the inside of Javanainen. Can Javanainen bottle it round the outside? No, he can't. And look at him getting sideways. Horvat could take the win here. He's got so much better tyre wear than Javanainen did. I wonder what he is compared to Yermakovich. Yermakovich currently in the championship fight. He's in 5th position in the championship prior to this race. Horvat a little bit further back. Javanainen was leading. It's not going to remain that way, I don't think. He may well just hold on to the lead. Jack Keithley in 4th now. So Lorenzi is in 5th. Hughes in 6th. In 7th position you've got Andreas Löffler. So an excellent race for these guys. Jack Keithley down to 4th. That's big news indeed. Yermakovich is holding station at the front. He is 8/10 slower through that sector alone from his best. Henrik Horvat about a second off, so Horvat's losing a little bit of time to Yermakovich. So it looks like it's going to be Yermakovich's race. I don't think anything disastrous is going to happen now, and Yermakovich crosses the line in just a moment, and he will be starting. I believe this is his final lap now. I've been counting on my fingers. That's not exactly the most scientific method. I believe this now is the final lap. I may well be proved wrong, but I'm afraid there's no lap counter, so I'm counting on my fingers, and it's not a very scientific method, as I was saying. Jack Keithley in 4th, then Lorenzi in 5th, Hughes in 6th. So he's done a good job to get up to 6th position. He was down in, I think, 9th position in the grid, maybe 8th. So he's made up a couple of places. Löffler in 7th. He's lost out big time from earlier on. Gonçalves is in 8th. So these two will have the front row for race 2. So that'll be crucial. Richard Trange in 9th position. He is a long way back from 8th, so he won't be able to challenge for the pole position for race 2. Emil Sallberg in 10th, Olsen in 11th, Savu in 12th, Jonas Lex, and followed by Vinicius Ferreira and Robert Wiesenmuller. That presents in 16th position with Bulmer, Johnson, Spodetsky, Vinnari, Pettersson and Vučković rounding out the field. So Yermakovich on the back straight. He's heading towards the right-hander. He is being caught by Horvat, you know. Horvat was just a couple of tenths quicker than him through that sector alone. What's happening here in the background? There's a bit of dust being thrown out. I think it might actually have been a bit of tyre lock as they headed into the right-hander at the end of the back straight. It's easy to do. So Yermakovich comes through the final corner. If this isn't the final lap, I'm sorry for building you up. And he's heading over the start-finish line. He flashes his light, so it looks like it is the final lap. And Yermakovich wins race 1, Oschersleben, round 4 of the RDTCC from Horvat. Javanainen in 3rd, Keithley dropped out to 4th, Lewinsky in 5th, Hughes, Löffler, Gonçalves, 9th is Richard Trange, Sallberg crosses the line for 10th position, Olsen in 11th, Savu in 12th, Jonas Lex is going to take 13th from Robert Wiesenmuller. What's happened to who did Wiesenmuller hit? What happened to Ferreira? Where's Ferreira gone? So that presents Bulmer, Johnson. There's Ferreira. So Ferreira made a huge error. Down to P18. Spodetsky in 19th position. And Vinnari in 20th. And Vučković in 22nd. So he's got past Pettersson. So Pettersson and Ferreira may have had it coming together, but Romanov didn't finish. So Yermakovich, our race 1 winner. He'll be in 8th position for race 2. 2nd position Horvat. He had an excellent end to the race, you'd have to say. Javanainen in 3rd. Keithley in 4th. Lewinsky in 5th, Hughes in 6th, Loeffler in 7th, and Gonçalves in 8th. And imagine those top 8 reversed, and that is your grid for race 2. And I'll be back in just a couple of minutes, so enjoy this poster. So race 2 just a couple of minutes away now, about 1 minute 30 seconds to be precise, so you've just about got enough time for a quick break. And remember, the top 8 are going to be reversed for this race, which means that Gonçalves and Loeffler will be on the front row, and the standing start will benefit the BMW compared to Gonçalves in the front wheel drive Chevy. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens as they head down to turn 1. You'd expect Gonçalves to lose a couple of places. Jimmy Hughes in 3rd position as well. And the first person to join the grid is Loeffler and Lorenzi. So we'll head back to the track action now, and we get ready for the start of race 2. And there they are, all lining up, getting ready. And you'd have to say this is the most nerve-wracking bit of the entire weekend for these guys. Race 2 will be underway in just a couple of moments. We're on board with Gonçalves. He's looking towards the lights, and we'll flick back just a couple of positions. And they're getting ready for the start. We're looking at Andreas Loeffler, and the lights are about to go out. And there they go, and Loeffler gets a great getaway, and so does mate Lorenzi. Lorenzi challenging for the lead. Gonçalves has been swamped by the BMWs. Javanainen coming up the inside as well. Lorenzi into 2nd, Loeffler into 1st. Keithley gets a good getaway, and Javanainen straight up into 4th with his fellow BMW driver Yermakovich, and our race 1 winner Yermakovich into 5th. Jim Hughes is down to 6th. Gonçalves down to 7th. Appalling starts for the front wheel drive guys. Horvath hasn't had a good getaway really. He's only up to 7th, and that's actually where he started, so he had a poor getaway indeed. But further up, Yermakovich making an absolute flyer, as did Javanainen, and they are now in 4th and 5th. Javanainen in front of Yermakovich, and that was very important for the BMWs to get at the front of the field. Loeffler from Lorenzi then, with the BMW of Jack Keithley in 3rd, the BMW of Javanainen in 4th, Yermakovich in 5th position as they bounce over the curbs through McDonald's and head onto the back straight. And it's anyone's guess. Javanainen having a look at the back of Jack Keithley as they head towards the right-hander. And Javanainen looking for a way by. There's no way through this lap round. Yermakovich behind him. He's sniffing around. In the background we've got a bit of dust flying up. I don't think there was any particular incident. Side by side, Zaprozets and Olsen. Oh, sorry, it's Savu and Olsen. And Olsen's coming back on the track, just about to avoid collecting Savu. Savu's got his headlights on. He'll have to be careful there. There's no real reason to have your headlights on. Johnson in 13th position. He's made up perhaps 1 or 2 places off the start. He's challenging Olsen now into the first corner. No way through there. So we'll head further forward, and Gonçalves is being looked at by Sallberg. So Gonçalves on the front row, all the way down to 8th. So it shows exactly what the front wheel drive cars compared to the rear wheel drive cars are like off the line. And look at this, Javanainen in 4th position behind Jack Keithley. Keithley made an excellent start actually to get up to 3rd, and he's currently holding on to that. But Lorenzi and Loeffler currently battling away for the lead, and I don't think they'll be battling away the whole race, but they certainly look quite strong at the moment. I think the 3 guys behind them will have something to say about their pace, but it has been pretty close all season, and qualifying showed that. But Lorenzi still in 2nd position, Jack Keithley in 3rd. Here's Javanainen, he is closing on Keithley. You'd have to say he is quite close to the back of Jack Keithley at the moment. Yermakovich in 5th place, so he'll be looking to do something from there. He was our race 1 winner, and he was 5th in the championship heading into this round. Horvat has got by Jimmy Hughes, so he's up into 6th place, so he'll be challenging as well. So the top 6 now are BMWs, then you've got 2 Chevrolet Cruisers, then another BMW, then you've got Tobias Olsen in Honda, then another BMW again in Savu, then you've got Trange, and then another BMW in Johnson. So they're BMWs right through the field, and you have to say they do look exceptionally strong actually now, and perhaps overly so. And Visa Malou in the background, he's going to get mugged here I think by Ferreira and Jonas Lex, and Jonas Lex gives him a little bit of a tap. If Jonas goes left now he'll be able to cover, but Visa Malou has a little bit of an overlap, unable to do so, uses all of the curve on the inside. Ferreira's going to mug Jonas if Jonas isn't careful, and Ferreira does so, and now they're heading into the quick left-handers now. And what can Visa Malou do? And Jonas Lex will have Ferreira on the left-hand side. No! Lex covers him off and retains 15th place. So these guys battling hard over the lower positions in the race. Let's head further forward once again. So as I was saying, Horvat up into 6th position. Who is that? Who's that? Zaprazets has left the game, trying to decipher what that squiggle at the top of the screen said. So that's unfortunate for him. Obviously, a bit of an incident, perhaps quit back to the garage. All over the back of Keithley at the moment. And up further forward, Lorenzi has been gapped by Loeffler. Loeffler, you'd have to say Loeffler was looking strong in race 1 as well, and then fell back a couple of positions. So I wonder if he's fixed his setup, perhaps, to make sure his tyres last a little bit longer than they did, because obviously that was tyre related in race 1. Jack Keithley holding on to 3rd. He set a pretty good lap time there. It's just a couple of tenths off the fastest lap of the race. Javanainen behind him in 4th place, and Yermakovich in 5th. I'm looking for a battle here. Gonçalves is quite close to Jimmy Hughes, but unable to do anything about him at the moment. And Jimmy Hughes holding on to 7th place at present. Sallberg's a long way back in 9th with his teammate Tobias Olsen in 10th. Savo still with his lights on in 11th, and here's a dice between Johnson and Richard Trange. I'll get him in the end. Johnson and Trange battling over 12th position. Trange in the green car, Johnson in the red and white machine, and Johnson looking for a way past the Swede, and he's looking for a way through, trying to get an overlap through the tight first section of the lap. No way through there for James, so he'll have to do a little bit better through there than that. They're coming up through towards Sector 2 as they head through McDonald's and onto the back of the circuit, and on board with Johnson. You can see he's not really closing that quickly on the Honda of Richard Trange. The BMW is stronger in the straight line. Oh, Trange goes very narrow indeed. He's going to get sideways. Oh, he nearly lost the back end there completely. Gathered it up under the throttle. That's the advantage of being in a front-wheel drive car. You can gather up slides like that, and he did so, and Johnson runs a little bit too wide through the penultimate corner as they head through Zeppelin once again, starting another lap. And Romanov here being attacked by Vinicius Ferreira. That was a good move from Ferreira, wasn't it? Came from miles back seemingly, and Vinnari in behind them in the Honda. So Romanov has a lot of work to do. He has made up a few positions off the start. He started dead last as a result of his retirement from race 1. He's currently in 18th position, using way too much curve there, Romanov. That's right on the limit, my friend, of what we call cutting the track, and you'll be in trouble if you do that too many times. Romanov using all of the track and more through turn 1. So let's head further forwards, and Yermakovich in 5th, still unable to do anything about Javanainen. Javanainen right up on the back of Keithley, and here is Lorenzi, and he's caught right up to the back of Andreas Loeffler. He's put his lights on as well, so obviously Lorenzi trying his hardest to get by Andreas Löffler and trying to do so through any means he possibly can. He's currently in second place. It's a good result for Lorenzi if he stays there. Jack Keithley in third. That's a good result for him as well, if he can stay there, considering he was in fourth position. Threw that one away though in race 1 really, but he's there, and he is able to capitalise if the front two have an issue. He has got Javanainen all over the back of him, and Javanainen will not want to let Jack Keithley get away, but you can see they have actually caught the leaders up just a little bit now, so it may well be that these four close in on each other, and they might get close towards the closing stages of the race, and Keithley holding on to the first couple of corners. They have caught up, you know, quite quickly to the leaders, so it makes you wonder whether the leaders have a more aggressive setup for overall pace rather than setting the car up for the whole race, which is what you should be doing. Jimmy Hughes still holding off Gonçalves for 7th and 8th position, both in the Chevrolet Cruisers. They're the first of the front wheel drive cars out on track. Jimmy Hughes holding the first of the front wheel drive cars crown at the moment in 7th. Oh, and he gets sideways over the curve through the triple, heading into the right hander, and Hughes is going to have to be careful trying to hold on to the back end of that car. He's going to come through the very fast chicane at McDonald's now, and the second part really is a braking zone. You can see a lot of tyre smoke there from Yermakovich or Javanainen. It could have been dust. Here comes Yermakovich. He's got to run on Javanainen. Has he got the overlap? No, Javanainen goes to the inside. Yermakovich will try and go around the outside. This is not going to work. I've never seen it work through there, and it won't work this time either. There's just too much radius on that corner, and it goes on for too long to be able to make a move around the outside. Yermakovich still there though, and he's been caught a little bit by Henrik Horvath. So the leaders are all closing up, you know. And Löffler and Lorenzi are going to be under pressure from Jack Keithley in a moment. Javanainen, having travelled across the grass or something, has lost a little bit of time to Jack Keithley, so he'll be looking to make that up again. Horvath right in behind Yermakovich, and you'd have to say Horvath, judging by the pace towards the end of race 1, where his car looks really stable compared to Javanainen's, who was oversteering all over the place, back end stepping out, and you'd have to say, because of that pace, you'd have to tip him for a good result today, even though he's back in 6th and there's a lot of cars to make passes on to get through towards the lead. He has had very strong pace in race 1, so I predict he'll be able to get on the podium before the end of the race. Jimmy Hughes and Gonçalves are very close on track. Sallberg sent back through the pack. Sabu and Trange locked in a battle. They've got Olsen behind them, and Johnson in 13th that's unable to make any impression at all, unlike his teammate. Behind them you've got Wiesenmuller, who is having a look on the inside of Johnson's car, unable to do anything through there. Behind them you've got Svedetsky, with Jonas Lex in 16th. Then you've got Jari Vinnari in 17th with Pettersson, Bulmer. Then you've got Vučković, and then Vinicius Ferreira with Romanov in 22nd position. So Löffler still leads from mate Lorenzi, with Jack Keithley in 3rd. They just spread out just a tiny bit this lap, you'd have to say. Even Javanainen and Yermakovich are a little bit further apart. So there is Yermakovich, and we'll head on board with Henrik Horvath as he crosses the line under this bridge now. And you can see the lap times are already dropping off. He's 1.2 seconds slower than the fastest lap overall. Some of that will be just pure pace, but the majority will be because of the tyres. You can see the different lines that those two have got there through the turn 1 section as they head towards the tight left-hander. And Horvath remains in 6th position. He's looking for a way by Yermakovich if he possibly can, but there's plenty of time left in this race, so 14 laps, remember. I think we're on about lap 7 or 8 now, so halfway through race 2. And Javanainen's gone very wide indeed, and nearly got onto the grass there. I wonder if that's what happened before, because Yermakovich seemed to close very quickly on the Swede. Javanainen got away with that one. You'd have to say it was pretty close. So there is the car of Javanainen, and he is currently in 4th position. Rickard holding on to that position well. Yermakovich behind him. Then you've got Horvat, and Jimmy Hughes has actually closed quite substantially, you'd have to say, on to the back of Horvat. And Horvat, the Hungarian. Very strong result in race 1. He's currently in 6th, so not quite as good this time round, but you'd expect that with a reverse grid. Sallberg in 9th position, with Savu in 10th place. I'm looking for a battle. There isn't one at the moment. Lorenzi and Loeffler are closer than they were before, and Lorenzi is closing up on Andreas Loeffler and trying his best to get onto the back of the German driver and perhaps have a go at getting the lead off him. It would be a good result for Lorenzi if he can take a race win here at Oschersleben. And the 3.6 kilometre track proving to be a difficult track to overtake on, nothing like the overtakes we saw at Monza, but now Loeffler has made a mistake, and Lorenzi unable to make a way past through there. He's now coming through McDonald's and onto the back straight. This is where he needs a nice tidy exit, get in the slipstream. He's unable to get really close enough to have a go at Loeffler. He's still poking his nose in, letting Loeffler know he is there. We have to say at the moment Loeffler looking the stronger of the two, just making 1 or 2 errors too many, and Lorenzi was closer than he has been before. So what can Lorenzi do about Andreas Loeffler? He is close enough to have a go if he can get in the slipstream, get nice and tight. Jack Keithley in 3rd place is in with a shout as well. Javanainen and Yermakovich still there sniffing about, and Horvat of course had that excellent run towards the end of race 1, so you can't really count any of them out, and they're all in with a shout. Jimmy Hughes in 7th, and he's being chased down by fellow Chevrolet Cruze driver Hugo Gonçalves. Behind Gonçalves you've got Sallberg. Oh, and Sallberg, little bit of a twitch on through the left-hander, but he just about gathered it up and remains in 9th place. Sabu in 10th. And James Johnson and Richard Trange. Then Tobias Olsen, and here comes Wiesenmuller on Olsen. Can he make the move into no, he can't. Oh, and cutting the curb is Wiesenmuller as well. Desperate to get as close as he possibly can. And he's looking for a way by Olsen, but there's no way through at the moment. Spadetsky in 15th, excuse me. Jonas Lex behind him in 16th place. Jari Vinnari then in 17th with Pettersson, Bulmer, Ferreira, Vučković, and Romanov is right at the back of the field. And that rounds out the runners at the moment. Loeffler still remains in 1st place, and Lorenzi has been caught quite quickly by Keithley. So it's fluctuating. The pace is fluctuating quite a lot at the front, and you can see actually if we look back from, if I can remember which is the right key, there we go, back from Andreas Loeffler's car, you can see that there are quite a lot of cars there ready to gobble up the position all the way back through to Yermakovich, I would say. So Loeffler has a lot of work to do to hold on to this one. Keithley is still well in front of Javanainen, and Lorenzi, who was all over the back of Andreas Loeffler looking for the lead, he's been unable to maintain that pace throughout this race. So looking at Jack Keithley now, and he is right onto the back of Lorenzi. Oh, and Lorenzi's got very sideways indeed. Here comes Keithley, much tighter through there than mate Lorenzi. It's a good job for Lorenzi that it's just a short shoot now into the fast chicane. And McDonald's, he needs a really good exit here through the right hander onto the back straight, and he's got one. And Lorenzi will be able to hold on to that position. Keithley is there, and you can see further back Horvat right in behind Yermakovich as well. So it's all happening here at Oschersleben. Nothing particularly happening on track, but it certainly is looking, building up to be an interesting race. Yermakovich so sideways over the curb there as he rejoined the track, and just about got away with that one. You can see Horvat desperate to get past Yermakovich. This of course mirrors what happened in race 1, with Horvat and Yermakovich battling for the lead, however, that time. So you can see Yermakovich slightly slower at this time of the race. I think he's probably got a little bit more tyre wear than Horvat. Javanainen has got right onto... Oh, it's so sideways, is Javanainen. Hold on to it, my friend, and he just about did. You can see he's pushing very hard indeed to get up to the back of Keithley, and that would join him in with the top three, who are really almost line astern. And look how much Javanainen's pushing. He's using all of the available grip that the car has to offer. You can see him turning the front wheels a lot just to purely get the car turned into every corner, and perhaps more than he needs to. Might be scrubbing the front tyres a little bit, causing a little bit of understeer, but it seems to be working for him. And I see Yermakovich being under pressure from Horvat. I did. Horvat's very close. So is Javanainen to the back of Jack Keithley, and if I was Javanainen, I'd now that I'm close enough, I'd have a dive somewhere. There's just no point. Oh, sideways for Javanainen! So sideways! What a hold! And he's just about held onto that one. So sideways. It's unbelievable how sideways he got that car then. Almost must have been full lock. And he didn't come off the throttle either, did he? So a lot of confidence in the rear end of that BMW. And you can see he's actually not really got that much oversteer in the car. Not compared to Jack Keithley, whose rear has looked unstable all the way through. But Javanainen has been developing understeer. Just by the way he turns in, you can see him chuck the car into the corner, lose lots of understeer until he gets on the power, then he'll unwind the wheel and use the oversteer to help push him around the corner. So it's a different way of driving for Javanainen. I have to say it is similar to the way I drive. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the best, but it's different to the way Keithley's driving. Keithley's using the back end to turn the car, as opposed to the slightly more consistent and stable way that Javanainen's driving the car. But it seems to be working for Keithley, as he is currently holding on to a podium position. Oh, and Yermakovich ran wide, and that's given a chance to Henrik Horvat, and he is alongside Yermakovich as they head into the right-hander. Who's it going to be? And Horvat's trying to go around the outside. Has he got the inside for the left-hander? Yes, he has. He runs Yermakovich off the road. Perfectly legitimate. And he takes the position away from Yegor Yermakovich and moves up into 5th place. Here comes Horvat then, at the closing stage of the race, like we saw before. And Loeffler still only just holding on to the 1st place. Maitland is right there in 2nd place. And Loeffler crosses the line once again. There can't be much longer left in this race. Lorenzi right behind Loeffler. And in behind there you've got Keithley, followed by Javanainen. And Javanainen, we saw him very sideways indeed. Horvat's a little bit further back, but Javanainen will be trying to get by Jack Keithley. And look at the gaps between the top 4. You can cover them with a blank piece of paper, and well, it's very close indeed. It's anyone's guess who's going to win this one. Actually, I would have to say at the moment Loeffler is in the best position, and he is a strong contender for the race win. He's got track position. Lewinsky might be close, but it's one thing being close, it's another altogether getting by. You've got to really wait for a mistake. Actually, you'd have to say that that's what happened to Horvat, and now he is by Yermakovich. He's gapped him just ever so slightly. Jim Hughes still in 7th, Hugo Gonçalves still in 8th, Sallberg still in 9th. I'll just go run through the field quickly. Savio in 10th, followed closely by James Johnson. They've got a huge gap back to Trange, who has got a slight gap to Olsen. Then you've got Wiesemüller in 14th, Swiadecki in 15th, Jaroslak's in 16th. There's a good battle going on for 17th position with Vinnari ahead of that field. With behind him you've got Pettersson, Ferreira and Bulmer. Romanov and Vučković round out the field, and here comes Maitland. He's got a good run out the final corner, and Loeffler is coming through, and he is ahead of Lewinsky, and he's going to cross the line. I think this might well be the last lap, and Loeffler indeed takes the win, I think, from Maitland. Indeed he does. Keithley took 3rd, 4th Javanainen, 5th was Henrik Horvat, Yermakovich in 6th, and Wow, that was close towards the end. Loeffler just about held on, and Levinsky right up to the line had a run, unable to do anything about it. Jimmy Hughes took 7th from Gonçalves, with Sallberg in 9th position. 10th is Savu, 11th Johnson, 12th Trange, 13th Olsen, Wiesenmuller, 14th Swiatek, Lex, Vinnari, Bulmer, Pettersson and Ferreira, and but our race 2 winner Andreas Loeffler from Mate Lewinsky by just half a second, I would say, with Keith Lee and Javanainen, Horvat and Yermakovich rounding out the top 6. So some good results there for the drivers. They'll be pleased with that one, and hopefully we'll try and get a word with some of the drivers for some interviews. But that was an excellent day's racing. We saw a race win for Yermakovich and a race win for Andreas Loeffler, and an excellent result for the pair of them, and they'll take that with both hands, grasp it, and move on to the next round, and they'll be looking to improve as we head through into the next round. I'm going to be back in a second. I'm just going to try and pick up a couple of drivers for an interview. And joining me in the commentary box we have Jack Keithley, and Jack, very strong in pole position, but unable to capitalise in race 1. What happened there? You seemed to drop back a little bit early on, and drop back into about 4th position. What happened? We didn't quite catch it on the broadcast.
Well, up to that point the race was going very good. I was able to pull away from Yegor, so I can't pronounce that second, probably Yegovich.
Yeah, Yermakovich, yep.
Yeah, I was pulling away, and then my game just froze, got a black screen, about 5 seconds, and it came back on, and turns out the drivers had just crashed, so, shame really, but at the same time, starting 5th for race 2 and finishing 3rd, yeah, I'm reasonably pleased with that.
So you should be. You had a good pace. Did you ever think you were going to be able to challenge the 2 leaders, Lewinsky and Loeffler?
Well, I knew it'd be difficult, but really I just wanted to just keep my 3rd place for the moment and just watching May and Andreas battle and hope, well, that something would happen. And the tyre wheel, I was hoping that they would wear off a bit and mine would catch on, but didn't work out.
It was very close indeed, but well done in the end. A 3rd place in race 2. It's got to be a good position for you, and it definitely keeps you in the championship hunt.
Cheers. Yeah, I'm pretty glad about really today because I'm a bit tired. I didn't really have much preparation, so even though what happened in race 1 wasn't good, race 2 makes up for it a bit, I guess. Yeah,
well done, Jack. So we move on to Andreas Loeffler, race 2 winner, and an excellent result there for you. I have to say, I thought Lewinsky was going to get you across the line, but it turned out that you just had enough to hold him off.
Yeah, I'm still almost unable to speak. I had to get some water. It was a horror to drive, and I was only thinking to make no mistake because already the first race I made 1 and lost 2 places, and it's almost impossible to overtake here, so I was only thinking stay online on the track, but 2 times I was offline and it was really close with mate, but I could hold him behind, and the last lap, oh man, I was only looking to bring it home, and the last corner I almost lost it because we spin out of the corner and very, very close. I'm one thanks mate because he was very, very gentle. Also the 2 times I was off, he didn't run any silly moves, so very, very good racing.
It was good racing, and I have to say, it was so tight across the line. But what actually happened to you in race 1 then? Because we saw you drop back, I think it was from 3rd to 5th position.
The first race I was behind Henrik, and I was feeling I have a good pace. I could maybe a little bit faster at the beginning to follow Jack and Javanainen, but one time in this S corner I almost lost it. I had all to do to stay on track and had almost to stop to get the car back, and two drivers go by, Mate and Jimmy, and yes, behind them I was unable to overtake. No place, nothing. Also not against the 4-wheel drive. No chance. So my engineer was meaning stay on 7 and make the second race and take the home win. Yes.
I have to say, Andreas, it's if you have a poor result, so long as you're still in the top 8 for race 2, you can do a good job. And you had a very good start in race 2 as well, so you managed to get to the front of the field, and that probably helped you.
Yes, of course. I was knowing that I will get first position, but Mate also had a better start than me. It was also close to the first corner, but it was not long enough. And yes, that's already like a win from the championship for me. One race, yes.
Well, I'm pleased to hear it. Yeah, I'm very happy for you as well, Andreas. So congratulations to you. Well done to Jack. Thank you both for joining me in the commentary box. And
no problem.
No problem. So we'll see those two again in 2 weeks' time at Curitiba in Brazil for the next round of the Race Department Touring Car Championship. It's Season 8 of the Race Department Touring Car Championship. Today we've been at Oschersleben, and obviously the RDTCC sponsored by our seats, and they're providing some quality prizes for us at the end of the year. So thank you to them, and thank you to Race Department as well. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. So until then, thanks for watching.